Hello, I'm Jordan Appleton, and in this video I want to talk to you about possibly one of my favourite games from my childhood, which is Sonic 3. Now, it came out in North America on the 2nd of February 1994. I believe it was the 20th or 21st of February 1994 here in Britain and in Europe, and then later I believe it was in May sometime that same year that it came out in Japan. And what I intend to do is to play through the entire game if I can, and the only problem is that obviously I'm going to have to emulate this because I don't have a capture card, which is, I know, a bit of a problem, but I do have a legitimate copy of the game, the other cartridge, and I also have a legitimate console, the Sega Mega Drive, and I'm going to prove that the game and the console both work, and then obviously I'm going to have to do it the other way. But at least you'll know that I genuinely have the appropriate equipment to do it, to play the game, and obviously a technical license to play it. So at least then you'll know that it's as legitimate as I can possibly do it under the circumstances. So plug that in there. The video cable back. Power. And there we go. That isn't always the way. Wow, that really takes me back to being about 6 years old. I know, yeah, 6, 7, I think I was when that game came out. But yeah, oh man, there's some bits of the game that I really enjoy, particularly the snowboarding bit. I think that bit's always a nice feature. And I have to say that the last boss though, the one with the, well, basically the spaceship, the ship I have to destroy, the sort of stacked bit, and then the so you get rid of that, and then you end up with Dr. Robotnik coming in with the great big hand to capture you, and he keeps on swooping across the screen. That has always been quite a challenge of timing, I found, but always, as a boss goes, I find that really fun. So so yeah, that's Sonic 3, and really good to get back to the games that you used to play sometimes. So, Sonic 3 is still available, digitally at least, and you can get it from Steam with Sonic and Knuckles, which is, both games are actually developed at roughly, well, basically the same time, and the original plan was to have them both shipped together, but for, I don't know strictly if it was technological constraints or time constraints, they actually broke the two games up and made the two separate games. But Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles is available from Steam, and it's also available from Gamersgate, and I'll include the links to those in the description below. And both of them work out at £3.99, I believe, £3.99 British pounds. So yeah, they're both available to buy, and well, I'm sure that you can do a better job at completing Sonic 3 than I did. Anyway, thank you for watching. Okay, Sega, I'm going to be honest. This is sort of a response to me getting in touch with you guys to basically ask permission to do what would essentially be a Let's Play of Sonic 3. Now, bearing in mind that I agree, Sonic is still a relevant character, and I understand that you want to protect your intellectual property, I find it almost a little over the top to not want your IP to be shared in this way, because what I don't understand is this. Okay, I know you want to make money, doesn't everybody? And I admit that I would like to monetize my videos as well. But when contacting yourself, Sega, I got a response which I shall read to you, which was, just to refresh your memory, or also to give the people that are watching this video some background into why I've done this. Dear customer, thank you for contacting Sega Europe. We never give explicit permission to use our intellectual property. We are sincerely sorry for the inconvenience, but we cannot assist you further on this occasion. Now, what I did was I was originally requesting to basically stream the game over Twitch. Okay? And then after doing that, I was planning on potentially doing another video and basically assembling a highlights reel, if you will, to put that onto YouTube, where we are now, so to speak. And I sort of offered, in fact, let me just see if I can look at my original message, but I believe I offered the possibility of effectively negotiation. Here we go. So my second request was to edit and capture the footage on YouTube as a highlights reel, which I was intending on monetizing. However, I can understand that you may object to that, being as it is your company's IP. But if we could come to some arrangement regarding this, I would be incredibly grateful. And then I gave details of my YouTube channel. Now, that is me sort of saying that yes, I would like to do the video, yes, I'd like to do a highlights reel, but I'm not necessarily going to monetize it. I would like to, but it's not a necessity, it's not a deal breaker. However, they flatly refused for me to effectively use the game for video purposes. Now, my plan was to celebrate the 20th anniversary of one of my most favourite games from when I was growing up. I really, really enjoyed Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles when that was eventually released. Especially since you could play them both together and you could use the save data off one and carry on the game. To the point where I actually got all of the emeralds with all of the various character combinations. So yes, I really, really enjoyed the game. But how can I put this? It's 20 years old. The likelihood that someone's actually going to go into a shop, buy the cartridge, put it into their put it into their Sega Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis, if you will, if you're using to go for the American console, or if you're watching this in America, and actually play the game, it's pretty slim, if I'm honest. Now, don't get me wrong, I am aware that there are various emulated versions, if you will, that are available for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, available in the stores for both, I believe, and also on the Wii Virtual Store as well. And again, I can understand that you would want to make money off those, but I'm not demonstrating a way of copying the game, downloading it, and emulating it. I may have used the emulated version, but only because of the fact that I've got genuine equipment right there, and it works perfectly. It works fine. But the only thing is I don't have a capture card or a capture device. So I'm simply finding a way around it, but as you can see, I legitimately have a working console and a working copy of the game. There is no real... It's a legal grey area, don't get me wrong, because it's still emulated, but technically I have a license to play the game. And whilst that one was sat there, just running a demo loop, which was the original plan, the game would be played on my PC, emulated. But, as I said, I've got the original device, the original hardware required, the original game. Now, as I say, I know it's a legal grey area, and technically I suppose I would be breaking the law for using the emulated version. But I can't really be playing that one and this one at the same time, so as a result, that one's basically just using electricity whilst this one's being played. So, and if it's any consolation, I also have Sonic & Knuckles and Sonic 3 on Steam. I've bought it with my own money, and that is the one which obviously I've offered for purchase earlier in the video. So not only am I planning on demonstrating the game to people, I'm also telling people where to go and buy it, which means that you get money from that. Taking my point further, some people might not even know about this game, which means that you're not going to get sales from those. Some people will think, I remember when, and actually want to go out and buy the game again, so that they can play it again and enjoy it again. Then there are also those bloody minded people who will probably see me play it through and realise I can do better than him. I'm going to absolutely spank him. I'm going to beat the game in about half the time with twice as many lives. And you know what? That's probably true, but at the same time, that's another sale, because chances are they might not have a working console, or their Sega Mega Drive or Genesis probably kicked the bucket many years ago, because, let's admit it, the console itself, that one there, is an original 1990s console. So, to that end, you know, it's currently 24 years old. You know, you don't need me to explain to you that there's a fair few that have dropped dead by the wayside between then and now. So they would have to buy a digital copy as well, which means you get even more money. So please, I understand it's your IP. All I'm doing is increasing the awareness to people about your IP. I asked for permission because of the fact that I'm a YouTuber, and I admit that at the moment I don't have many subscribers. But I don't want to get into trouble with regards to copyright laws. I don't want to cause any problems with regards to yourselves. I mean, I want to share my passion for gaming and for technology. I am passionate about Sonic because of the fact that the Sega Mega Drive was the first console I ever owned, and the first two games I got were Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is still one of my most favourite games. So I want to share my experiences with other people. And if your argument is that by demonstrating how to play the entire game and actually play it through from start to finish for people to watch is a problem, I'll put it to you like this. If someone gave me the script for, say, Crank, and a load of pictures from the various locations they were planning on using for the film, I would probably still look and go, yeah, well, I don't get it. But I've seen the film, and I think it's really good. I really, really like the film. I think it's probably a classic because of the fact that nothing's been done similar really before or since, other than Crank 2, which still isn't quite as good. But the point still stands. It's not the same. Reading about it and finding out all the information about it isn't the same as watching the film. In the same way as watching somebody else play a game that is entirely reliant on skill, I admit that Sonic is probably a bit too fast-paced, sort of, for truly skilled gaming and truly accurately skilled platforming, but timing still plays a part, and it's still an experience. But watching someone play it through and actually playing it through yourself are completely different things. So yes, someone's seen the game from start to finish, knows what the layouts are, knows what some of the routes on the levels are, and knows what the graphics look like and things like that. But the game's 20 years old, all of that stuff's been shown in screenshots on various other websites. Chances are the websites have got adverts on. What are you going to go and do? Pull down all those websites? Or at least remove all of the pictures from them? Yes, I admit, I'm trying to introduce, people who are used to Little Big Planet and, 3D Mario and Sonic Adventure. But that brings me to another point. Due to other YouTubers, I went out last year and I bought a Dreamcast. I never had a Dreamcast when it was new. I got that last year because I'd seen videos on other YouTubers' channels and I thought some of those games looked really interesting. So I now have a Dreamcast, 4 controllers, and also I think about 20 games that I bought. Some of them brand new from Amazon. So some of those are retail games, if you will. So you're telling me that by someone uploading videos of your IPs and demonstrating what the games are like, playing them through, letting people watch, probably laugh at the person who's playing as incompetence, you're telling me that that's not somehow indirectly making you money? I don't know. It's up to you, it's your IP, but I think it's sad that you don't want people to share something which to them is history. The number of people that are probably buying Sonic games now or the old Sonic games, the real ones, Sonic 1, 2 and 3 and Knuckles, the number of people that are buying those games will probably be very, very small, and most of those probably have played it 1,000 times before and are probably buying it on iOS or other platforms because of the fact that they want to play a game that they remember. But if it isn't brought to their attention again, then maybe they won't. I mean, there's maybe someone young who hasn't seen Sonic but wants to get in on the ground floor and actually experience it for real, rather than the sort of later experiences, especially with regards to what's on the on the later consoles. But yeah, that's it. I'm disappointed that you won't just let me do that. You didn't even open to negotiation of, well, yes, feel free to do it, but just don't advertise on it, because that's perfectly understandable to me. I can understand you not wanting me to make money off your IP, but for you not to want to actually demonstrate your IP and demonstrate for you not to want me to demonstrate your game and the experience to other players who may actually be interested and may go out and buy the game as a result, then it's disappointing. It is. But hey, you're the one who owns the rights, right? So yeah, Sega, if you want to get back to me, then by all means do so. By the same token, anyone else watching, what are your thoughts? I admit that this is a bit of a troll, and sorry if if I disappointed you by not actually playing the game, but at the end of the day, my hands are tied. Sega, as I say, the ball's in your court. If you would like me to do what I would really like to do, which is to play through Sonic 3 on the 22nd of February, because that's the closest weekend from when the game came out, and live stream it, and then I say maybe even put up highlights reel on YouTube, then that'd be awesome. But yeah, comments in the box below, like, favourite, subscribe, dislike if you want, but yeah, thank you for watching.